So my name is Naderge Baptiste. I'm 32 years old now. I grew up in Spring Valley, New York. And so it was a very, I would say, tight-knit community. However, to be quite honest, I don't recall having lots of access to certain activities, para-scholar activities, extracurricular activities. And so that's where MicroSociety really made this huge impact personally on my life. And from what I know from a few of the friends that I have on their lives as well, I got to participate in the court system. I was working as a prosecution lawyer for the MicroSociety, and so I wouldn't have had that exposure any other way. I didn't know anyone personally that was a lawyer, and so I didn't have that type of exposure, and it just opened a world of possibilities for me. Which led me to study international development because I want to work with nonprofit organizations as I do now today. And so that's what molded me and how MicroSociety and my professors, my teachers gave so much back to us. So I wanted to also give back. And it changed my life in a very positive way, teaching me not only about the court system and real life situations, but just making me believe that this is something that I can do and showing me what's possible without just being only limited to my current situation. So it was amazing. I loved it, and it was funny sometimes. Sometimes my friends, they would get tickets and they would come in the courtroom, and they're like, "Please help me out." And I'm like, "No, I can't do that. I have to do this properly." So it was fun, but really learned a lot, and I have a lot of good memories. I learned a lot about the court system and how to build my negotiation skills, how to ask really good questions, how to interrogate, how to be also unbiased and very neutral, even though most of the students, I knew them personally. I think my first year in MicroSociety, before I became a lawyer, I was a stenographer in the courtroom. So I was listening to all the court cases and taking notes almost verbatim of all the conversations that were happening, going back and forth between witnesses and the judge and the lawyers. And so that helped me to really be attentive and take really good notes. And it also gave me a really good idea of how to earn a promotion, because the following year I was promoted to being a lawyer after while working very hard as a stenographer. So that was in the 5th grade. There was like a retail store, there was a bakery, people selling cookies, you were earning microdollars. I think one time I also worked as a judge as well. Like we played in all of the different roles that there were, and it really impacted my life in a really positive way. I wouldn't have had exposure to this type of environment literally any other way until I would say university. So I was getting paid in microdollars from being a lawyer. And so we did MicroSociety twice a week. I believe it was like Wednesdays and Fridays. And so during those times, I could go and spend my microdollars how I wanted to, buy cookies or clothing, or there were different stores. I believe there were so many. I can't remember all of them, but I was able to go and spend how I wanted to. The money that I earned. So it was again an amazing experience, and the cookies were really good. So that was usually what I was spending my money on. Elementary school, I had a really good time. I always was excited to go to school. There was always something to learn from, or I definitely looked forward to participating. I always looked forward to going to school. There was like no dreadful feeling at all. And I think it brought all of us closer together, all the classrooms as well. I feel like everyone was looking forward to it. It was like our favorite days of the week. It's different from just sitting in the classroom and, following the regular curriculum every single day. it was very different, and a different way of learning that I think is very beneficial for students to experience. So no, I had no dreadful feelings, or I was never sad to go to school from what I remember, unless I was sick or something. And I graduated from McGill University in 2018 here in Canada. I work for the Answer Company that is based in British Columbia. And so what we do at the Answer Company, I work in business development, and so we help organizations answer questions about technology and information systems. We're partners with Acumatica and Sage, and so basically in a nutshell, that's what we do. We help build customer relationships, management, support accounting, human resources, software solutions for many different verticals. And so I, on a daily basis, speak to a lot of CFOs, CEOs, and that sort of thing. So another cool thing about what I do is that I get to give back to my community as well, because I also studied international development. And so we have a program called Answering the Call, which we give about 4 days per week back to our local communities as a team and also individually. So for me, that's massive. And it's massive that my CEO allows us to do that. So yeah, I also in Quebec, I am the main contact for our CSR program, and so I organize events. I build relationships with nonprofit organizations like food banks, Moisson Montréal, also Le Chaînon, women's shelters. So my position, I love what I do. I get to do, I get the best of both worlds with what I studied. So my parents were, come from Haiti. So they didn't really have that background, that experience. And so even if I try to explain it to them, they're just like, whoa, what is that? And that was kind of hard because, I was learning so much, so many new things, and not having anyone to really understand or share it with besides my siblings, because my little brother was part of the program as well. And so, that part was tough. They were just happy that I was doing well in school. But they didn't really understand how, or if I told them like, hey, I had MicroSociety today and tried to explain it to them, they're just like, they had a hard time understanding. And so that's what I meant by that exposure, having that exposure that I wouldn't have had anywhere else, because my parents were not able to provide that. So I grew up in New York, but I was born in Canada. My father is American. I just recalled not having enough money to go to university, to be honest. And so I had to make a decision, and I didn't want to have that limited mindset. And I was like, well, I know there's opportunities also in Canada. I don't know anyone there. I was born in Quebec. I don't speak French, but I'm going to go there and I'm going to go to school. And that's what I did. I speak French fluently now. I learned how to speak French, and I went to one of the best universities in Canada that I graduated from. I worked hard to go there. I had to have a part-time job while going to school to pay off my tuition. And so, I mean, if it wasn't for MicroSociety, I don't think I would have, to be honest, I don't think I would have done that. I don't think I would have been as motivated to go out there and to take as many risks as I did, and to get an education by any means necessary. So for me, I definitely benefited from MicroSociety, and I would like to give back also if possible. So that's what I would say to decision makers in the education system, in the different school districts that there are, not only in Quebec but in the States too. First of all, I think it could benefit all types of students. So students like myself who don't necessarily have the resources, or have a family that is very well versed in educational resources. to have access to a world of opportunities, to experience real life situations, to know what is possible for them, what they can do, and how they can give back to society. Because I am giving back to society now as a result of what I've received in my youth. So I think that should be made available to students who don't have those resources, and for students who do have those resources. If you have never had access or any type of exposure to this program, I think there's, a child can never be too young to know, to be exposed to different careers and to what they could want to do one day, or what they can become. It just gives them more time instead of deciding, in high school and, then starting university right away and not really having any idea what to do. It's a really hard decision to make, I think, for everyone. So I think everyone could benefit from MicroSociety, and I think it's just beneficial in general for children to learn to love to go to school and to look forward to it, to have something to look forward to, and for it not to be so formal all the time. There's different ways to learn things, and I think everyone should experience that if they have the opportunity, right?